Elephant Ears, Chapter 1, Section 1. Outside the train's window, children were playing football. Morning mist hung around the designated abundance of tropical trees that framed the pitch. A number of players, probably more than the regulation 11 on each side, were chasing a new ball that glistened in the morning light. Each time it was kicked from one end of the pristine pitch to the other, it was followed by a gaggle of screaming youngsters. There seemed to be no plan or formation to the game. Where the ball went, the excited crowd followed, and occasionally it was forced into one of the makeshift goals, along with a number of the players. Douglas Silver remembered being one of those children chasing the ball from one end to the other, part of the little knot of children seemingly tied to the football. On those glorious days that he managed to tow a ball past the onrushing goalkeeper, he would celebrate by pulling his shirt over his head and running a lap around the field. He had copied this from the players on the telescreen. The channel always played triumphant music when a player scored, though the act of pulling shirts over heads had long since been banned by the authorities for the good of the people in general. Douglas was on his way to work. He worked in what the drones officially called Sector 7 of the old city. He hadn't been working long, certainly not compared to some of the other drones. It was coming up to 3 years now since he had turned 18 and, like all the other drones, gone to work in the old city. The journey was always the same people on the same train with the same views outside. No matter where you sat, each seat adjusted to the particular physical, mental, and psychological needs of the passenger. In fact, with time, each drone's physical, mental, and psychological needs became the same. That was the good news from the channel. Today, on the ever-developing immersion system, they were running one of the old days reports on the transportation system of the past. The OD reports had been running for years, but the immersion was, as far as Douglas knew, a fairly recent development on the high-speed link between the hives and the old city. He had yet to plug into the system, so he could only register the visuals on the screen in front of him, which as a result showed a 20% immersion rate. On the silent screen, a bus had jackknifed around a tree somewhere in the old city of the old days. The date, 21st of June 2000, ran along the bottom of the images. The scene of the accident was pure chaos. Gawping crowds of people dressed in impractical old days clothes, and the old media scrambling for pictures of the gruesome sight.